Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. Okay, so, woo, what a day. Let's get right into this video. I was tagged by Dylan the Reader 5. Thank you, Dylan. And he created like an original book tag, and it's called like Past Favorite Reads. I actually really like this book tag. A, because it has no rules, except for that you just discuss like some favorite past reads and why they're not your favorite reads anymore. And yeah, so should we get right into this? I tried to pick books that I rarely talk about on my channel. And the first one is like a book that I talk about more than the others. So I thought I would talk about that. And that is, it's one that if you go watch his video, he has it in there too. And that is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. This was like literally one of the very first young adult novels that like, of contemporary young adult novels that I read as of like the last, let's say 5 or 10 years. Like when the whole like young adult thing started. And for when it started for me, I guess, I was researching, writing my book, and so I started reading a lot of young adult, and I actually, I read Boy Meets Boy was my very first one by David Levithan. And then I read Will Grayson, and as a result of that, I read this when this came out. And I think it was I don't know. Did Will Grayson come out after this? I can't remember. This is 2012, I think. So, but anyway, it was something in that order. And then I remember I read Robin Schneider's The Beginning of Everything, which I loved. And then right after that, I read Ava DeLaria's Love Letters to the Dead, which is absolutely fantastic if you've never read it. But here's the thing, okay? Like, John Green, I love you, but you're becoming trite at this point, okay? Like, write something different. I would like to see John Green write an adult book. I mean, most of the people that he's written for have aged out anyway, and I love his stuff, right? But, like, Rainbow Rowell did it, and she did it fantastically, you know? And I did not love Landline, but what's the other one called? Attachments, I really liked. But, I mean, it's like the same characters and all this kind of stuff, and I just read Turtles All the Way Down, and I know people love it. I just didn't fall in love with those characters. I can't even remember their names, to be really honest with you. And it just didn't stand out for me. Now, everybody has, like, their favorite John Green book. At some point, you know, it'll be a version of Trivial Pursuit where you have to go, like, oh, my favorite's this and my favorite's that. And there'll be psychological studies done where we're all evaluated based on what our favorite John Green book is. And my favorite John Green book is Paper Towns. I know. People hate it, but I love it. And so, anyway, but I remember reading this, and I literally sat on the front porch, and I bawled my eyes out. I don't know where my original copy is. I think I gave it to my good Judy Tanya, because this is not it. I bought this at Half Price Books like a year ago because I just wanted to have a copy of it. I'm not really sure why. I could just watch the movie and get it all over again, right? But anyway, I loved it at the time. I was just so profoundly impacted by this book. But the thing is that when this book came out, there weren't a lot of other books like it. There weren't a lot of other good books like it. And just contemporary young adult novels, which I love, have saturated the market. And it's been done better now. And that's the thing, okay? He may have done it first, but I think it's been done better. And I still love The Fault in Our Stars, but like, it doesn't really move me as much as it did then. So that's the first one. The second one is, are you ready? Augusten Burroughs, Running with Scissors. And I remember when I read this book, I just was so like, I felt like I was living in a distorted reality that in some kind of strange way I really related to. And I went through this whole period where all I read was memoirs as a result of it. And I think it's fantastic. And so, you know, he talks a lot about recovery. He talks about psych issues. He talks about being gay and all this on and on. So I really related to this guy. I was like, oh my God, like, okay, this is fantastic. But some of his writing through the years, like there's been some stories that I don't know, I just can't click with. I will tell you that Dry, his recovery story about being in treatment, is my hands down all-time favorite book of his. My husband loves him. And there's a book called The Wolf at the Table, and it's about his father, and that's my husband's favorite book of his. But I don't know, I bought the last book that he put out. I can't remember, it's called like Wonder or something like that, and I just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me, you know? And I hate when you fall out of love with an author and it's like, there was a bit of an arrogance and entitlement to it that I hadn't seen in his previous books that were, to me, somewhat, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, more genuine and authentic, you know? And I don't like my authors to get arrogant. I don't like that at all. So, but it's still a great read, and if you've never seen it or never seen the movie, you should see the movie, definitely. Annette Bening in it is fantastic, and the music is incredible. It's like got one of the best soundtracks to any movie, so that's that. Okay, now the next book, now I gotta do these in order. Okay, so when I was in 6th grade, my stepmom and my dad and I went on a trip to, I think it was like St. Martin, and my dad is like a really, really hard worker. He's 76 years old and he still is a practicing surgeon. And so when we would go on vacations, we would go on vacations for like weeks at a time. Because if my dad was going to be gone, he had to be gone for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time because he couldn't relax. And so we'd always like rent a house or something somewhere, you know? And my stepmom would bring a bunch of books. Well, I ran out of books. So my stepmom was like, well, I think you're old enough. I probably was like, did I say 10, 6th grade? I was probably like 12 or 13. And I read Lucky by Jackie Collins. And it changed my world. Changed my world. I fell in love with Lucky Santangelo, and I like wanted to be Lucky Santangelo. There's just everything about her confidence and her love of family and just her long jet black hair. I wanted to be her. I loved her so much. And is Jackie Collins' picture in there? There it is. So Jackie Collins is the sister of the famous actress Jackie's sister. Jackie Collins is the famous sister of Joan Collins, the actress. And Jackie Collins died like 2 years ago. My husband and I own a website. We interview like D-list celebrities, and I got to interview her twice, not just once. And let me just tell you, it was one of the most fantastic moments in my entire life. She was so down to earth, so genuine. I remember like we got talking a lot about TiVo, and like TiVo was the big thing then, and DVR, you know, and how like she watches all these certain shows, and she loved to read like Elmore Leonard, and she loved like suspense and like really like crime thrillers, and that's why she's so good at like weaving like all of these kind of like Hollywood stories around like this crime and suspense and espionage, and it's fantastic. And she is still to this day one of my all-time favorite authors. I just don't really read her anymore, well, partly because she's passed away and there's nothing, but like I haven't read all of her books. I mean, there's like a lot that I haven't read that I could go back and read. So I don't know, this one and Rockstar are both of my favorites. Wouldn't guess that one, would you? And then the next one was a book, and I remember buying it at the grocery store. I got it off of eBay like a year ago because I wanted to read it again. Okay, my friends and I became obsessed with this book in high school. We like passed it around, probably like old ladies smoking Camel Lights. Just like, I mean, we would sit in the parking lot at school and we'd be like this. Oh my God, I miss those days. And it is Amethyst by Mary Rose Hayes. Should we read what it's about? Her amethyst ring was her crystal ball. In a strict English boarding school, stunning... Okay, we had also read Lace and Lace... Do you guys remember the Lace books? I cannot remember who wrote it, but it was also... But she also wrote Savages. Why can't I think of her name? Anyway, so, in a strict English boarding school, stunning Victoria Raven prophetically spins destinies for her 3 beautiful, ambitious friends. I mean, it's basically Lace. Did you ever see with Phoebe Cates, the movie, like made-for-TV movie? If you haven't, you've missed out on life. Each will be chosen for greatness. Jess will become a famous artist, Gwyneth a superstar model, and Catriona will salvage fabulous success from a horrendous heartbreak. The prophecy also includes a terrifying curse. In 20 years, they will be reunited, but one of them will be gone. 20 years later, Victoria's forecast is mostly a dream come true. They have gained all that fortune can give and passion can offer in their new glittering worlds of wealth and power. And now, as these daring yet vulnerable women await the dreaded reunion, they discover that everything has its price and that all the money and beauty in the world cannot buy love. We loved this book. We were obsessed with it. Like, I mean, I read this book so many times. Okay, and then the last thing is, okay, my good Judy, Heather, and I, we became obsessed with these books. And they are Linda Berry's Down the Street Kids books, okay? These are, listen, you cannot even get these places anymore, okay? Maybe on eBay, I don't know. Maybe on Amazon. But I have, by Linda Berry, It's So Magic. And it's, okay, these are about Monn and Marlis and their pathetic life. And so here's Marlis, and she says, what is? And Monn says everything. And see, like, Monn is just like, sadly, she's always talking about her acne and her poor hair and everything. And Marlis says, you're psyching, right? This is like a super psych out, right? Now you know why I talk that way. Okay, so It's So Magic. And then like on the back here is Monn, and she's like, why am I such a dog? If only I could turn into someone else. If only I could dig on the magic of life again like I was 10 minutes ago. I love her. And then Marlis is like, hi, welcome stranger to our personal book starring my personal sister, Monn. And she says, I hate myself. And also starring Marlis. Let's hear it for the great Marlis, personally starring me. And she says, you are so conceited. No, I am total Sagittarius. She is Capricorn, she worries. I don't, and now just open this book for our incredible story. Hi, and total right on from Marlis. And so my friend Heather and I used to like call each other and be like, hi, and total right on. And there's this one thing, I wish I could find it. Oh my God, if I could find it, I would like literally die a million dies. But there's this part, and my friend Heather, she found my YouTube channel and she emailed me, and I hadn't talked to her in years. And she emailed me and she said, do you know who I mean when I say Teresa Watford, the girl that bounces on the fence? And there is this story in here, and it is literally about this girl, and she just hangs on this metal fence all day long, and she bounces on the fence, and her name is Teresa Watford. And we used to lose our shit. And then they have like turtles, and this guy comes and he steps on their turtle cage, and they all say to them, wait till you get a turtle, man. You guys, these books are literally life. I mean, they are fantastic. Here's the fun house. That was $3.48. Can you imagine that a book was ever so cheap? $3.98, My Perfect Life, by Monn. And Come Over and Come Over. Come Over, Come Over. I love Linda Berry, you guys. She is so fantastic. She is, I mean, so fantastic. If you guys have not read these books, you should totally read them. Yesterday, I waited for Brenda so we could walk home, but it turns out she went with Sandy. Then today in Home Ec, Sandy dumped out her purse, and I saw my flower ring. At lunch, I couldn't find Brenda until right before the bell. Brenda, oh hi. Where'd you eat lunch? Nowhere. I asked her, is Sandy your new best friend now? And she said it was just my imagination. I asked her about my flower ring, and she says she thinks she might have lost it. Was that the first bell or the second bell? I think second. Oh man, gotta go. See ya. Yeah, see ya. It's really just tragic. It's these like really tragic stories about life that are absolutely hilarious. So remember, in life, it's so magic. All right, you guys, that is it. And I'm not tagging anybody because nobody ever does my tags anyway when I tag them. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I love you. Bye.